Feed me. Feed me more. Feed me more. Feed me more. Feed me more.
Welcome to another Feed Me More Nutrition Thursday Live. I am the big guy Ryback. Hope everyone is doing well. Thank you for joining me. I already said hello over on Instagram and TikTok, the big guy Ryback 22. And we're here, YouTube, Ryback TV, Twitch at Ryback Rules, and Periscope at Ryback, which we got a verification in. We're hoping that the Twitter account gets verified. Hopefully also we can get some the impression rate fixed. That would be nice. But that is an issue I don't think is going to be resolved until I have some pretty high up people that can get me in contact with somebody in the know with Twitter. But here we are. Great day, big conditioning day. Bunch of scar tissue. Just got off the softball and this other ball from my shoulder, and swung by the old OS. Actually the new EOS, and did a big 40 minutes on the Stairmaster interval training, and then did some incline sprints today. Good little cardio day, and then I'll be eating shortly, having my little coffee. And here we are, here to talk to you guys. Health, fitness, nutrition, supplementation, wrestling questions on random wrestling stuff. Maybe we'll answer a few of those. Everybody on Instagram, see you guys. We have the badges. I can't see all the questions though as I'm going through. I don't have the googly eyes that can scan everything simultaneously. I am unfortunately human. I am not Drax from Guardians of the Galaxy. Thank you very much though. Oh, Lane. Hey, Lane. Good question. Ryback, I was reading your post about veganism and was wondering how it builds muscle faster. Like you said, how do you get 300 grams daily out of a vegan diet? Well, the first thing is you got to understand, I think a lot of times when people hear the word vegan, this is what I used to do. You instantly just think vegetables. Vegetables are just one part of a vegan diet. There's so many foods that are not meat available out there that are plant-based, and but I think when we think vegan plant, we just think green leafy vegetables, right? So we gotta raise our awareness to the foods that we have available. And my diet is more diverse than it's ever been. So things that you could do to get your daily protein on a plant-based diet, and then I'll explain to you on why I believe it builds muscle better and more efficiently if you're able to consume the high protein, especially somebody trying to break down muscle tissue and rebuild it and things of that nature. You need nutritional yeast, hemp hearts, chia seeds. I got flax seeds. Nutritional yeast, though, for every little tablespoon of it is 4 grams of protein on it. And I'll put 4 or 5 scoops of that. I'll put a scoop of hemp hearts, and then right then there is 30 grams of protein. Do things, little servings of lentils, beans. The plant-based meats are fantastic. Those things, soy protein, great complete protein, the phytoestrogens don't raise the estrogens on that. There's all these things. You got my ISO Hungry Pea protein, and I'll get to this super chat here next. Throw that up. There's all these foods with the proteins, and what you do is you mix and match your foods through your diet. And I do meals. My meals regularly have between anywhere from 75 to sometimes 115, 120 grams of protein. And my carbs are very, very under control and not crazy, and quite low actually, except for when I want the carbs on my carb meals. So I do a lot of vegetables, and I put those in, and you're getting a negligible amount of protein in those. But you add everything up, and it's not complicated. I think though, when you're so used to eating animal products, you're just like, oh, and this used to be me. I just throw a big thing of steak in there, cut up a bunch of chicken breast, this and that. And like, and then you just think, I used to think that that was the most important thing. And I found though, with my food is already here, son of a damn. Today's not going to be as long, guys, but I'll leave the food sitting out there for a bit. I got some burritos. I'm going to put nutritional yeast on it to get all the rice and bean burritos on wheat tortillas. And I got a bunch of salsa on top, and I'll put the nutritional yeast on it and bump that up. And I'll make sure I get all my protein on that on top of what is in the burritos. But the micronutrients are so important. And so when you were able to, I do my protein shake, I do an 80, 100 gram protein shake. You have seeds, nuts, pistachios, Brazil nuts, some almonds, cashews. These things, you add up this protein. It makes it very simple. But the thing is, I think you think of a chicken breast, you're like, oh, I'm going to get 80 grams of protein from chicken breast. When you're vegan and you do it right and learn the foods, you have a plethora of options to choose from to hit your protein requirements. And I do think also we don't need as much protein as what we've been led to believe on that, a lot of that stuff to sell that stuff. But I'm a big fan of high protein nonetheless. So then you got things like my ISO Hungry plant-powered protein on that, right? So, and that's just one shake a day. I'm doing 80, 100 grams on that. You could have multiple shakes a day on that. It's pea protein. We live in a day and age with the plant-based meats where we can eat more efficiently, where they've done the work and put these plant ingredients in, and it doesn't have all the carbohydrates if you buy the right ones. And it's like you can buy a package of No Evil chicken, super low carb, super low fat, 100 grams of protein in that. Boom, throw that in the pan. There's your chicken breast. Throw half of it in the pan. There's 50 grams. Want to go a little bit in between? Throw a little bit of nutritional yeast on that or hemp hearts. There you go. Like it's just so simple now. I'm so angry that I was so close-minded to the diet, and it ends up being the most life-changing thing. And your endurance and conditioning and blood flow improves. So your body, and if you see the studies and things where they online and they talk about when you go plant-based and primarily vegan, how it reverses heart disease and vascular disease and the plaque inside in the arteries on that. You're essentially putting clean fuel into your body for the first time ever. And what it does is it cleans out your body. And the longer you do it, I'm telling you this from experience, endurance has never been better. Blood flow has never been better. And I mean that, like, you become manlier in every sense of the way. So if your body is functioning at an optimal level, if you are consuming the correct amount of protein and you have your macros in line and you're getting all these micronutrients and antioxidants, your body becomes a muscle building machine. You see, a lot of vegans aren't trying to build muscle though. So and people get this misconception. And I always had it too. And that's why I'm so motivated now to show people. I just took my mindset I had to eating before with this diet, and I'm thriving better than ever. So you gotta learn the foods and go into it. And I'm telling you, from a performance standpoint, you're going to see. And then in the process, we're not killing any animals. It's a beautiful thing. And the longer you do it, you actually become more compassionate. And I've noticed changes in myself and my thinking that I'm very, very happy with. So. Brock Lesnar, good to see you, my man. Here comes the pain. Who was your favorite wrestler in WWF? Razor, Diesel, those two guys, I think, were when I was, man, and in meeting them, and they are, in Nash, and I was around a lot down in Columbia, just two of the coolest guys. I thought they were I loved watching them when I was a kid. And I believe I learned a lot about how to get over by watching them. And if you ever see some of my mannerisms and stuff, it's just the child in me. What I remember in learning about pro wrestlers and how to get over through body language and mannerisms that I thought they were two of the best at. And man, those guys, they both could go. Nash, man, too, being 7 feet tall, nearly 7 feet tall. If you've seen him playing basketball before and he had all the injuries, the tall guys, man, having to go in there, have it way harder than anybody else, especially that WWE, WWF schedule, man. I just have nothing but respect for him. And I think They're very business oriented, and I think that's something that's missing in pro wrestling. They knew how to protect themselves enough, even though they gave a lot. I feel, and especially Hall in a lot of different scenarios, and not playing the role of a world heavyweight champion. But man, just great guys to be around. I'm happy. Nash looks great still. He's more jacked than anybody in pro wrestling, probably. Hall has everything together. So, yeah, those are the two, man. Too sweet. Yeah, I'm letting it get cold. I'm just going to heat it up in the old microwave. What I committed to the live. I'm in. The food was supposed to be in, I thought, around 6, but it was a Cafe Rio, and so I thought it was going to be usually a longer wait. This driver, this guy was on the ball. I did see the Ultimate Warrior documentary. Yeah, the A&E one. I enjoyed it. I'm doing great, thank you. Do I think the criticism Vince McMahon receives from online fans is justified? I don't know what that's pertaining to. I have a lot of criticisms over things that I think he could be a better human being. But before he leaves this planet, I'm disappointed in him. And I would tell that to him directly. I will tell him if I ever speak to him. I will tell him how disappointed I am in him as a human being. And I don't think he's well evolved. And that's just me speaking from somebody who's done a lot of self-development and a lot of things of learning about us. I don't, but that's not happening. So he is who he is from his childhood, and he's stuck in his ways. And it is what it is. I'm not there. So I took control of my fate. And he's not a good human being in a lot of the things he's done. And I know that personally with what they're doing with me. But I'm one piece of energy he can't control. And we're going to see that when I'm back. Always sharding. Do you think Undertaker has one more match? No. WrestleMania 38, hometown Texas next year. Would love to see him versus Drew McIntyre. Why? I mean, at what point? I think we've seen enough to know, like, man, you guys, when people get old, they get old. And I know enough to know, like, in getting himself together for those matches, no, let him just stay retired. There's no need for it, because then you're going to want more. There's never good enough for anybody. Like, there's always going to be, and you're saying that selfishly you want to see him. I think he would have enough love and respect. Man, then if I were him, I just want to be there and be drunk watching in the press box. You got to hang it up eventually. And why? And do you want to? At that, you're just risking so much. Why? I don't think it's worth it. Thank you very much. You have my cutout in your basement. Get that motherfucker and set it up in the house, man. I'm going to be back soon. That thing's going to be, you're going to be cooler having that up in your bedroom. My real name is Ryback Reeves. Yeah, the people, you have no idea what it takes to get ready. I just know how hard I train and what I do. There's no way that guy at that age and he at his height, he can't do it. And he's got himself together how many times? Like, the guy, what else can he do? It's not worth it. And I never think it's a good thing when you just do something for the money. I don't think that's a good thing. But if he wants to, it's his choice. And that's something I would just think he would, at this point, I think he would want to just stay retired. Jake Truman, thank you very much, buddy. Good to see you. Good. Yes, we have my birth name was Ryan. 9:08 p.m. The Sunset Hospital. I am now Ryback Reeves. I was a big fan of Sean back in the day too. Bret Hart and Sean. And Bret and Sean are two other guys right there behind Razor and Diesel. I loved British Bulldog too. I actually I liked Mabel a lot too. Yeah, that's a little bit weird on that question. Any health and fitness supplement workout questions, mindset? What's going on, guys? Talk to the big guy. Answer a wrestling question. You guys go hog wild. You don't ask anything else. Did I ever like the Ultimate Warrior? I didn't hate him. I never hated anybody. I watched him growing up, but I wasn't. I was more of a Hogan and Macho guy. That's just. But I always enjoyed, and we watched a lot of tapes when me and Cody and the group of us down in Louisville, Kentucky at OVW would watch do classics on demand at my place, or we'd go to Domino's, Cliff Compton's place, and yeah, those were good times actually. But we would watch matches. I remember watching him and Macho, and we would be doing partaking of some other stuff as well, and we were laughing. There was a match. I think it was a SummerSlam match with Mach, and Warrior said like respect RSPCT. He misspelled it, and we went back and watched that probably 100 times that night. All of us in tears. But it was great. It wasn't like making fun. It was just because you're in the moment, and but we were able to hear it up close. And somebody caught it. I don't know who caught it when we were watching. We watched that match a lot. We watched a lot. We watched that. There's some good times. No, soy doesn't affect men negatively. Soy is a superfood, a complete protein. The phytoestrogens do not raise your estrogen. Now, and I don't know, and I've just seen this, and from a lot of things I've seen, there's a lot of bad information out there that's been funded by the meat and dairy industry. And the only way you're going to know this is that you start learning and reading about our food system and the things going on. I could tell you this stuff all day long. I know there's going to be a portion of people that go, "You're full of shit. I don't believe you." Read. You're being narrow-minded and closed-minded if you don't strive to learn our food system. It's only the most important thing about our lives, about what we put in our bodies. And that's why I say fix our food, we fix our mood. Life is energy, and food is our number one energy source in the liquids that we put in our body, right? But food is what feeds us. It controls everything. So why wouldn't we learn about it? Good question on the Complexity. I'm going to get to that question on feeling lost too. I think that's a great question. When is the right time by Chuck Van to take Pumplex City after workouts before bed, which is a better time? So it's marketed as a pump formula, but it's our non-stimulant pre-workout as well. I am a big fan of either taking it pre-workout, or I take it and I drink it during my workout, or I'll drink the majority of it the first quarter of my workout, and then fill up with the water from the gym, even though the gym uses like a filtered water. I don't like the way that it tastes because I'm such a diva with my filtered water that I've been spoiled on here through Casa de la Big Guy, that I could tell when the water isn't as quality as the water that I have. And so I keep a little bit of the Complexity in there as I'm sipping it for the rest of my workout. But I would take it before or intro workout, no doubt. Let's get to that other question. Yeah, I would stay away from the pure protein bars. I've had them before. I used to eat them a bit when I was younger, before I was smart enough that I thought they tasted good. But I would try to eat as much real food as possible. Good question by Miguel here. Thoughts on feeling lost, meaning not knowing what I want to do for my future and overall lifestyle. Thanks, my man. So this is a lot of people in life, and I think we have to find things that we're passionate about, and things that excite us, and that's not always easy. There can be underlying issues. It could be from parents, and parents not being motivating and pushing us. I think you have to be at a stage. I put up a picture on Instagram. I'm big on these cartoons. telling people where it's a kid on a computer, a teenager on a computer, it could be an adult on a computer, where I say, where start moving. We got to, stop watching and start doing, start moving. And what I mean by that is, especially in this day and age, it's really easy to get stuck on all the stuff that we have available, watching and distracting ourselves, watching other people, which can cause, and it does cause, massive depression. And that I feel bad for kids that are having to come up with this, because you have it harder because you're not moving as much as kids in the past. And when I grew up, and the kids and all the generations before, where the number one way to get out of a rut is by physical activity and doing things for others, to getting in a feel good state. You got to start trying some hobbies out. And you got to like, whether it's, you go take a jiu-jitsu class, you go take a boxing class, anything, a sport, you got to try stuff. You got to get out of your comfort zone, and you got to start trying stuff. And what's going to happen is you're going to find something that you really, really enjoy doing more than the others. And now that you found your thing, now whether you're physically gifted enough to do something where you could earn money doing that, or maybe it's not, maybe it's going to be something more on the mental side. Maybe it's something where you could create an online business. Maybe you have more of an entrepreneur mindset. But but physical activity, at the end of the day, if you're young right now, and I don't know how old you are, Miguel, but physical activity and getting out in the real world as much as possible and trying things, it builds self-confidence, it builds self-esteem and confidence. And that's going to carry over to a lot of other aspects of your life. But if we sit inside frozen, if we're not moving, right, it builds up. And now that fear and depression, and we start losing confidence. We start questioning ourselves. We start watching all these other people do their thing, but we're not doing anything. So that would be my advice. I do have a back, yes. There's no medical. I'm just right now. It's just getting the rest of the scar tissue. My back's all better. That was the main concern, because that was quite dangerous until my disc. I have no back issues. It's now my shoulder, because I don't want to be in pain for the rest of my life. And I just massive scar tissue built up, and it's just really hard to explain. The people that work on it see it and know what it is. And I know what it is. And I've been blessed to even be at the point that I'm even at. If I never even went back to wrestling, just to feel good is truly a blessing. But I'm going to be able to. I just got to, I'm going, man, I'm giving this everything I got. So I just ask to be patient. And I'm not going to tell you when I'm going back, guys. There's some stuff already going on. I'm not telling anybody on that end. I think I'm possibly a few months away. It could be even less than that. And if it's not, it's not. And I just keep going until I'm ready. I don't let the hate or the negativity, anything stop me. I already know what I'm capable of. I just know I want to be healthy. And when I'm healthy and strong, nobody can stop me. And even when I'm hurt, nobody could stop me. And what I've done, it's truly, I'm very proud of everything. And I think people are going to look back, and I've proved my concept, the hungry mindset, and it's gonna create for some really, really cool talks and experiences here as we move forward. Sean, that's awesome, man. I'm glad you tried vegan. Just keep implementing some meals. Get more and more comfortable with the diet. Lose weight. You got a basal metabolic rate calculator. You got to start. You got to be. You don't have to be immaculate, and just you don't have to have your calories pinpointed exactly. But you got to start understanding food and the calories that you put in your body. And the counting is usually required for people that are clueless on it. And you got to get comfortable with it. And I'm a big believer that if you want to look good and feel good, and I believe it should have always been this way. I don't think food should ever be solely for pleasure. No, we're all human. We're going to do it. But I think when we shift our mindset that food is energy, and we want to put the cleanest, purest energy in our bodies, we start making better decisions. Now, are we always going to make the best decisions 100% of the time? No. But more often than not, we're going to make better decisions, and you're going to start looking and feeling better. Best way to get jacked is to be consistent in the gym day in and day out and quality food. There's no other way around it. And you got to start. You got to calculate what you're doing. You got to try things. You got to push yourself. You just don't go to the gym 10 times and like, I'm freaking jacked. Like, it doesn't work that way. It takes years of work and effort. I've been working out since I was 11, 12 years old. Like, it's a second nature to me. It's a skill of going every single day and being consistent. Trust me, Jackson, I don't listen to anybody that says I'm a bad wrestler. Guys, if you watch anybody, so people tell Tom Brady that he sucks and he's horrible and he needs to retire and he's old. Right? People tell Michael Jordan that he sucks and this guy's better and this guy's. Go look at anybody's page. ESPN posts a photo of LeBron James. People lose their shit talking about how bad he sucks. And that's what those people do. And that's why I think it's a very poor mindset. And I feel bad for them because they're missing out on the greatness of life. I don't spend my time obsessing over the comments. I spend my time doing the work. And I put out my content for the people to motivate and inspire people and for things to build my brand. I would never, ever, ever, ever let somebody post in comments that want to try to say I'm a bad wrestler. They have zero clue what they are talking about. And that's okay. They're going to have zero clue till the day they die. I promise you, unless they change their mindset. Sean, I'm huge on turmeric for inflammation. I season it on my food multiple times a day, and I put it. It's in our 1-2-3 muscle joint tendon formula as well with Feed Me More Nutrition. Walter Wozniak, big fan of that name there. Walter Wozniak. Here comes the Woz. Loved watching your eating video today. The dogs are awesome. And my dogs make the same sounds when I'm eating. I laughed hard at that crazy sound because I can relate. Thank you. Little guy was on point for that video. He'll randomly let out odd whines at me. Like, he understands a lot. Bostons are very smart dogs, and Sophie's very smart as well. But he's like on another level. Thank you very much, Jackson. It's just a matter. I think there's a lot of great years ahead left. So a lot of the leg stuff is genetic as well. I've been blessed always. My legs stay big regardless, which is a good and bad thing for conditioning stuff. The bigger your legs are and the more muscular your legs are, the better your conditioning has to be because your legs eat up a ton of oxygen with the amount of blood, especially when they get pumped. But I train legs very hard, and I'm very, but a lot of that stuff is genetic on that. You know, my legs are usually a 25, 26 set workout with all the glute stuff in there, and sometimes a little more. But I've always, in my adult age, have had larger legs. It's like you look at a guy like Stone Cold Steve Austin. I have big calves as well. Austin has big legs, big calves. There's just some of us that like, genetically, and there's some guys that have genetically just larger arms, right? Everyone in bodies are all different on that. No, I didn't think I would be a vegan. And honestly, I never thought about, I thought I was doing all the right things. And I honestly, I was truly wrong. I was wrong. But I've always been open-minded and willing to learn on things. And when I was presented with information, and even though I didn't necessarily want it, when Austin Aries came on, it wasn't that I didn't want to talk, but that was what we were talking about on the show. And as he was talking, I just go, this just like makes sense. He looks great. I'm looking at this guy. His muscle mass was great. And I'm like, maybe I don't really know shit on this, and I read, I learn about things. I go, well, I'm just going to go in and I'm gonna read on it. I'm going to learn about it, and it was enough. That was it. I've been vegan almost 9.5 months now. Yeah, I'm not a big fan of growing the hair out. I think I would look like a complete dweeb, just a total dork. You can't go from the beard and the bald head to having a head of hair unless I'm like an old man, and then I just grow it out. So I don't want to see like dots on my head and whatever happens to our skin when we get old. We're all going to get old if we're lucky enough. Chicago, super chat. Super chats are always welcome. I always see it on the pay thing on the super chats. They just keep going up and up. That's always a nice little pleasant surprise. What's your favorite fast food spicy chicken sandwich? The vegan one at Garden Grill in Las Vegas. They have a Nashville hot and they have another buffalo chicken sandwich. Blow your balls off. I highly recommend it. That I'm telling you, it was, and I've done before that, and I did all the food videos online when I was eating chicken. And I don't know if I think I did Popeyes and Wendy's, and I think I did Burger Kings and all that. But all that is it's the breading and the buffalo sauce. And in the Garden Grill, I'm telling you, it to me it was even better, and it doesn't weigh you down like those other foods. I remember when I'd eat those big meals on Ryback TV, I felt like shit on those after, and like I do the plant meals, I feel amazing. It's just an entirely hits completely different. Garden Grill though, they by far have the best one. I don't have a take on Cena China. I've never heard of anything about that. Jess, good question. Ryback, how would someone approach a plant-based diet for someone who doesn't know much about it? On feedmemore.com, if you click on our blog section under nutrition, we have all free blog content on there for you guys on a lot of different things on nutrition, supplementation, mindset. On that, click on nutrition. It's the first one on beginning a vegan diet, and it'll give you kind of a little basic rundown in a blog. And there's all original content for the site on this. And I even have I have a couple vegan blogs on there on my own. I wrote also. Start reading those, if you will, please. And that's gonna spark. You're gonna get a lot of good stuff out of that, and you're gonna see what foods you can start buying and start making. Like I tell people, just try to make one meal and have one meal and get good at that one meal, and then do another meal and try different things, and you will really, really read those. You're gonna have a lot more information, and like I said, find the protein foods, and you're gonna have a much more diverse, fun diet. More fun in the plant-based stuff. They're in grocery stores. The milks, the butters, they taste so much better. The dressings, so much better than the dairy, especially too in the longer you get away from that stuff, food just tastes better in general. So try that and see if that doesn't help you, get the ball rolling on that. Buddy, I'm gonna have to block you. We don't want you spamming in the chat, guys. I remember that show in Wisconsin. That was a great show. I was in I was hurt for that, but that was me, and we did the main event. I remember Big Papa Pump was on that. That was my first time meeting him, and he went out and wrestled. Put in a lot of time, I thought. Chicago goes, what's your favorite low-calorie, sugar-free dessert? I don't know. I'm trying to think of, since I've been vegan, I've done a couple of the vegan ice creams, but those had the sugar in it. The Ben and Jerry's has a vegan lineup on that. I'm trying to think. I know I've had something, haven't I? That's been vegan, a vegan dessert. but I don't know if it's been sugar-free. I don't know. What I do for my stuff is I have those root beers I had on here, the Zevias, the sugar-free sodas with stevia and monk fruit. Those things to me are like a treat for me on that. I'm not a big sugar guy or fruit guy or dessert guy. I do fruit in the morning for my sugars and my antioxidants. I'll do my blueberries or mixed berries with a banana and some watermelon and 3 ounces of pomegranate juice, and also some figs. I'm a big fig fan. I got a fig tree and a pomegranate tree growing in my back and front yard. So if I think of it, I'll throw that out there. But off the top of my head, I don't know what my favorite low-calorie, sugar-free dessert is. I will say, the Lenny and Larry's protein bars. They're vegan, actually, and I never even knew that before. I would eat them every once in a blue moon. Their peanut butter one is probably my favorite, to give you an answer. Yeah, I do keep track of my carbs, and I'm able to. I have a pretty good rough idea on it. I'm not competing in any contest or anything, and I'm trying to be as jacked and lean as possible, with the best endurance and muscle mass possible on that. But energy is my main focus on that. So even if my body fat isn't as low as if I was going to do randomly going to do I had a photo shoot, right? My focus is on being just is physically imposing and the best athlete and having the much energy as humanly possible. So I take all that into account with the foods that I eat and with all the things. I have a very good grasp of that, and I eat very repetitively on a lot of similar foods, and I have a basic understanding of what I'm putting in my body on my performance meals. And I go by the meter and I go by the scale a little bit I can tell where I got to make little adjustments on that. Those chips be bussin', yo. Beets are great for endurance, for blood flow, increasing nitric oxide. I got to actually order. I didn't get as many on this week's groceries. I put in the wrong amounts, and I want to start eating 2 or 3 a day. Beets, and we got the 250 milligrams in the Pumplexity. That stuff, and I told you, if you want to increase your endurance and blood flow, Pumplexity, ribose, spirulina, and B12 together. Thank you very much, guys. Best Locale snacks are going to be doing things, man. Fruit, vegetables. Like to me, I like if I'm a little hungry, you have a jar. I have organic pickles in the refrigerator. I'll grab a tomato or two, cut them up, put a little salt and pepper on them. Man, very satisfying. I've got a thing of celery in there, big container of it. I buy every week. With that, I cut it up in some of my meals. But also, celery is great if you want like a little snack at night and you're able not to be an asshole and use a lot of peanut butter. You put just a little bit of peanut butter on the celery sticks, or you get some of the vegan ranch with the celery sticks and dip them in. Man, you're golden. You're barely getting anything. A little bit from the dressing, as long as you're not an asshole and guzzle all of it. Chicago with another super chat. It says, is it okay to take 4 servings of protein powder a day? I'm trying to get 200 grams and I'm 175 pounds and work out 5 times a week. Absolutely. As long as you're getting your other macronutrients with a balanced diet outside of that, there's nothing wrong with doing that. How much spirulina? I do 10 grams of ribose. I do about 1.5 scoops of Pumplexity. I do 10 grams of ribose. I just buy the pure powder online. Eventually, we'll have that for you guys too. I'm going to have everything on Feed Me More Nutrition. But 10 grams of, and the ribose will be my R, but it will be R-Y-bose. It's spelled R-I, but it'll be ribose. That 10 grams Pumplexity, 10 grams of ribose, 5 to 10 grams is advised. And then the spirulina, I do, how many grams am I doing? I do anywhere from 3 to 5 grams of spirulina, and then and I do the tablets. I just do 10 tablets in the morning, and I can just pop those and take those. And then the B12, I just take a little dropper full. But they're wake up limited energy has so much vitamin B12 in it, and caffeine helps the absorption of vitamin B12. Caffeine inhibits the absorption of iron, and when you take your multivitamin, different vitamins. So be very careful of that, because iron absorption is key to our energy. Is that another super chat I missed? Nope. My favorite supplement I take everything with Feed Me More Nutrition. It's like, I love this stuff. The wake up unlimited energy first thing in the morning though. If you told, there's so many things, if you told me you're taking them away from me, I'm going to be upset. But that wake up unlimited energy first thing when I wake up, that's where I came up with the Folgers, where I just stole the best part of waking up is wake up in your cup. It's because I love it. So that would probably be the one that would be the hardest for me. I love the taste of it. Everything just puts me in a good mood. Good approach for fasting is having a quality full meal, making sure if you're going to do a dry fast or water, you're hydrated, and you just go into it. Everyone kind of reacts different. You got to build up your tolerance to it and push yourself. And it's always advised not to do a lot of physical activity. It's okay to go for walks and things, but I wouldn't train, do a hard conditioning or anything, and because your body goes through cycles with it, and you get better at it. Like anything, practice. It's everything. If you can only do, we all fast when we go to sleep at night, 6 to 8 hours. I only sleep 3 hours. Okay, 3 hours. However long you sleep, we're fasting. So add to it. I would say do it a little bit before you go to bed, get those hours at night, and then try to continue it on in the morning as long as you can until you feel the need to eat, and then try to add on that each time you do it. I do one 24-hour fast once a week right now. Super chat from Miguel. Hey, that's me in the photo with you, Miguel. And if I'm not mistaken, I'm trying to look at that photo. I don't know where that, because I remember wearing that sweater at a few of the appearances. Was that over, Miguel? And was that when I did my the UK tour? I feel like it was. How did you learn to create supplements? I started when I was younger. I became fascinated with a lot of different herbs in trying supplements and a lot of these different supplement companies when I was younger, in finding ingredients that I got results with. I've always been a big believer in investing in my body. And then eventually what I started doing is buying individual ingredients and then putting them together and trying for periods of time. I would look online. I would find, okay, what supplements, what herbs are good for increasing the metabolism naturally, for fat loss, and then for going to sleep, for energy. And once you learn the individual ingredients, and what I found is a lot of companies don't use enough ingredients. They're just built. They're big on trying to keep things on one capsule to keep things easy for people. Screw that. We want results. So you're gonna, if it takes taking 4 capsules to get results, I'm going to do it. And that's what I found with that. And then working with the manufacturer, and I have a great team of people with me. They don't have to change my formulas because these things have been used by me at a very high level. And I demand the more from myself than anybody else is getting. Like I hold myself to very high expectations with this stuff. And I found if it works for me, I think it's going to work for a lot of other people. And that is what we've seen with the Feed Me More Nutrition. And I have a very open mind to things as well, that I say, I don't know everything. I'm constantly learning, but I'll do my best to try to, it's like the proteins, the grass-fed wheys. Once I learned what was going on and I go, plant protein is superior to this. And then I learned about the dairy industry, and I was contributing to that. And I didn't like the way that made me feel. And I just made a conscious decision. Once those are gone, they're gone. We're going fully plant-based on the proteins. Our BCAAs are already vegan friendly. Everything else is already vegan friendly because I want to sell to everybody on that. But I keep an open mind on that, where where I'm constantly trying to learn and just be the best that I can be and offer the best. All right, guys. That's a good question. We'll end on this. That's not a dumb question. There's no such thing as a dumb question. Only dumb people, guys. if you're getting discomfort on pre-workouts, and I don't know if that's from the wake up or just could be any, because there's a lot of pre-workouts with a lot of bad stuff. Sometimes you could have it could be too much caffeine. You could just have a caffeine sensitivity. Other times, some of these companies use some shit ingredients that will make you feel completely cracked out and nauseous on that. Sometimes too, it's just too much energy if you don't have anything in your stomach. So I would say take half of the serving of whatever brand you're taking, and eat a meal first to have a little bit of food in your stomach. But I'm going to tell you, stay away from all those companies with the artificial sweeteners and colors. They're no good. That stuff is just not good for you. And I just think you'll be better off without them. Yeah, Jess, I think going a vegan plant-based diet will, I'm telling you that stuff, tell them to start using fresh organic cilantro. I would add 1 to 2 bananas into his diet a day. I would do a banana in the morning and a banana late afternoon if I was him. Bananas have been shown to help improve our mood. I would cut up fresh organic cilantro. And then also, I think going vegan, when we start quit eating death and all the stuff that's going on, our bodies start changing and our minds start changing for the better as we start putting cleaner energy in our body. I would also say check out, I would do that first. And then if he wants to check out the Hope Spot Mood and Stress Support we have, it is fantastic. And I absolutely love it. And a lot of people love it. But I think making those switches first are key. All right, guys, I'm going to go get my cold burritos outside and heat them up and put some nutritional yeast on it. I thank you very much for joining me once again, and Feed Me More Nutrition on feedmemore.com. We have our spin and win wheel up to 35% discounts for signing up for our text and email messages on our newsletter. There you get 25% off on your next 2 orders if you sign up for those, guys. And yeah, I will see you next time. Have a great night and stay hungry, my friends. Feed me more.